Good morning, everyone. This is a spur of the moment garden tour. We don't, oh. That was a hawk sitting on my tomato trellis, hopefully looking for gophers. Anyway, it is a very beautiful overcast morning. We don't get a lot of those, and those are the best lighting for a tour. Not just for my face, for everything. This also happens to be our 13th month living here. Can you guys believe we've been here now officially a year and a little more? We've officially lived every season here, and I've learned a lot. And that was just talking about the vegetable garden. I've learned a lot about a lot of things living here. So I wanted to take you through, I wanted to give you some aerial shots and some on the ground shots of kind of the before. So when we just moved in, or right before we moved in, and then now a year later, and what has changed. And it's funny because I didn't feel like I've done that much in a year. I felt like I was going to be further ahead. But looking at this and preparing for this tour, I feel like I've done a pretty decent amount of work. So we're gonna start, I think we're gonna start at the most finished spot. And that would happen to be one little strip along the side of our deck that is tropical. Now I will tell you, I said this is a spur of the moment thing, so I haven't had a chance to get out here and really tidy up everything. And we did have rain and wind from the hurricane, so it's not looking the best. Every plant is not looking the best, but you know, is anybody's garden perfect at all times? No, mine either. So it is what it is. And I'm gonna also show you where we've been, where it was, where it is now, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about what is going to be happening in each of these spots. So hopefully this will be a good tour. Let's start off right here. All right, so we're gonna start off here in front of our tropical patio cover. Now, if you guys watched me build this on the Homestead channel, if you haven't, you can go take a look at that. I'll put a link down below. But we'll start off with these magnificent elephant ears here. Look at the pattern on these. It's just beautiful. It's amazing. And right here to the right, we've got my Kahili ginger that is kind of going over now, but they were really beautiful when they were in full bloom and they weren't just a bunch of dead ones hanging on. This is the first year this has bloomed for me. And I got it 2 years ago for my birthday, brought it from our old house, and it finally bloomed this year. The gingers are actually loving it right here. They get morning shade and afternoon sun. These are the white ginger that I had for years at my old house, and I dug them up and brought them here. And they have been blooming better, and they smell so good. Very honeysuckle type of a scent to them. But look, there's still all kinds of buds still coming on. Look at this huge one. I think that's the biggest one I've had. And they are blooming better than in Camarillo, where we used to live, because they used to just put out one little bloom and then that would die, and then the next day another one would come out. But we're actually getting full kind of heads on these. You can see back in here. But now to the best part. My plumerias are blooming. These are from the old house as well. I was worried in the winter that these weren't going to take because the branches were getting kind of spongy and soft, but here it is. This is going to make a beautiful small tree on the corner of this patio cover. But here's where I want to give you a before and after shot. So let's go back to several months ago after we first moved in. And that's before the railing was painted, before much of anything was done. I brought the Monstera deliciosas here from our old house. I did a video there when they actually fruited, delicious fruit on them. And so when I planted them here, I was hoping that they would work here because there was hot morning sun. But Look at that. They're completely filling in. These Monsteras are beautiful. No defects on the leaves, no burns on the newer leaves. Look at this Caladium. And it's really filling in to be that tropical paradise look that I wanted. All the different Caladiums we have. I got these actually, I believe at Costco. Yeah, I think it was Costco. Like those bulk bags you get at Costco. But look, these are so thick. I mean, they're just these beautiful brand new leaves. Just filling in here. And the goal is, now this plant right here, this is the exact one that fruited at my last house. But look at the trunk on it. And I'm going to have it grow right up this pole. And even across the top if it will. There might be too much sun when it gets up there. We'll see. If you guys remember at my last house, I had the Jungle Cruise sign that I made. It actually fits in so well here. The colors of the sign match the railing perfectly. And we finally installed our fans. Look at these fans. We got 4 fans in here that really move the air around, and really the look of them, there you go, fit the theme perfectly. They match that jungly, tropical, exotic look. And then I've been hanging lanterns in here. And you can see I've got all different kinds of lanterns. Some more exotic, some more you know, Americanized, regular, all different types of lanterns. And I've lit them up at night with some outdoor lighting. I just ran outdoor lighting cord and ran it into these lanterns. Found some outdoor spotlights, took the light out of the actual spotlight holder or body that it came in, and it worked perfectly. Now I've got enough for half. This half over here still doesn't have any, so I'm gonna have to go out looking for ones that I like for that side. Okay, so the vision for what will be here. This large, expansive patio is going to be the entire tropical garden. Out here, originally, if you watch some of my old videos on the Homestead channel, this was going to be a huge tropical jungle walkthrough. Well, we've decided this is now going to be pasture for a cow. And so the tropical garden is going to be moved up here onto our large patio. I ended up putting a hedge to differentiate the space between the tropical and the Mediterranean. There will be a gate there in the middle. And I did plant this up with sun patience, cannas, just to give it that tropical look. These are filling in really well. I want to get some cuttings of these to, you know, propagate them for lots more spaces. These have been so great. I've never grown sun patience before. I used to grow the impatiens until they had that disease that went nationwide and killed them. But these have done really well. This was going to be a hard place to plant because it got so much shade until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the sun just beat down on it all afternoon. But these have handled it really well. Had a little burning during the 100-degree weather, but overall I think they held up really nicely. And these are the cabbage that I sowed on last week's video. See, look at this. Trash and tumbleweeds from the wind from the hurricane. I got to get out here and clean all that. So this part of the hedge here has really gone nuts. It's almost ready to get a trim, because once you trim these, it'll put the energy back down lower, so it'll fill in a little bit more. The hedge will be a little taller. I do want it to be 7 to 8 feet tall. But if you notice, this side is a lot fuller and greener than this side out here. In fact, a few weeks ago, this actually looked even more sparse, but they're all getting the same amount of water, or they were. The thing is, the house shades these for a lot of the day, but not these. And so in getting the same water, these were struggling while the others were thriving. So I actually doubled up the drip emitters on these, and now they're starting to flourish. Okay, so the plan for the tropical garden. It's going to be anchored by a large pond out here on the corner. Well, actually it'll come about out to there. It's going to be very big, nice big koi pond with rock work along the back. If you saw my last house, I did all that lava rock work. I probably won't be doing this work myself. We'll see. I got to hire something done, and that's probably going to take the longest amount of time if I do it myself. But anyway, the pond will be there. I'm thinking out here in the center, a replica of my old chicken coop from the last house. It's kind of it's still the logo of the channel. So I feel like I have to have it here somewhere. So it might be slightly larger and end up being kind of a storage shed. Over there where that bench is, there will be a large seating area. And then there will be a path that comes through the hedge there, splits off, and I'll have several big island beds around the area with large palm trees and tropical trees, because I really need this area to be shaded because most tropical plants like the shade. So that's the idea. So you'd be able to sit up here in this patio deck overlook to this entire tropical garden. While we're here, look at these pots. I've got these little elephant ears and caladiums. I got these at Costco too. They were like a mix, so you could have like it was basically a pot in a bag, and they worked out well. This one didn't get as much water on drip, and so the elephant ears didn't do as well. And actually the caladium leaves are smaller too. Now, right in front of the house, our seasonal bed has had lots of great color with all of these vincas. And this is the same Dusty Miller that I put in for our Christmas display last November. And look at that. It's still just doing so well. The vincas really needed to be cut back a little bit, but I just hated to do it. They're just so full of color. All right, now out to the pumpkin patch, and let's just go through and see what kind of fun things we've got growing out here. This was supposed to be jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I don't think that's what these are going to be. So I must have messed up there somehow. We've got lots of little ones coming on. If you saw yesterday's video, I talked about how the heat had put a pause on the female flowers. Well, they're coming back now that it's cooling off. So let's just look through here and see what we can find. Found a little bit of mildew. Not a surprise at this time of year. So we do have some cantaloupe right here. A couple of baby cantaloupes. A couple of baby watermelon, which this is the weirdest shaped watermelon I have ever seen in my life. Something went wrong there. These are called midnight pumpkins. Probably because they're so dark. I'm assuming they don't get orange. This is called, I'll have to look where that tag goes. You have to follow these vines like a little maze. Look at this one. Here's my favorite one of the whole bunch. I love the color and the shape. It's almost a bluish mint color. So I'm hoping to have lots of fall decoration here, and then lots of good flavor squash / pumpkins to cook in the winter. Now these are my cherry trees and my peach trees and a pear tree that I was planning to have in the ground before now. They've been growing in these pots since January. The problem is where they're going to go in the orchard. I have to get this whole rest of this wall done, all the steps and things, to give them the hold up for where they're going to be. And you can see I finally do have all of the stone stacked up here to build that. I was just waiting for cooler weather. So where the pumpkin patch is right now will eventually be split into two gardens, kind of right here and over this way is going to be an English garden with a couple of borders, English borders. And then on the right side of that and all the way up to the top is going to be a formal French garden. So very manicured, hedging, that type of thing. And I had Bill over here. For those of you who are on my homestead channel, you know who Bill is. He's my friend with the tractor. And he terraced this entire area so it looks a lot different than when we moved in. You can see up this level, and this gravel here and the gravel pile way over there is for the walls that these stones will comprise of. But there's going to be a 30-foot deep terrace from the house to here, and then there's about an 8 to 10 foot wide walk that's going to be grass that's going to go through, and it's going to have some trees that are going to be trimmed into kind of almost like a head shape, but it's lifted off the ground. I can't think of the word it's called right now. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, then there'll be another long terrace up at the top. So this will have 3 terraces. But that is going to have to wait for about another year, year and a half. Next year I will still be able to grow some crops here because this is going to be on hold while I finish 2 jobs. And number 1 is going to be the wall and finishing off the vegetable garden. That's this winter's project, fall and winter. And then also this fall and winter, I know you guys have been waiting to see what's going to happen up here. Well, it's underway slowly, and the chicken coop is being constructed. You guys have seen all this on the other channel, except for the chimney. I did work on the chimney the other day. And yes, I know what chicken coop has a chimney. Mine does. This is all going to be cobblestone chimney. And it's going to be an English cottage because this will be the English cottage garden. Right now it's succulents, but I am taking all of those out, rehoming them on this property. I've given quite a few away. I still have a few more to give away. And then there's going to be a lot that's going to be composted as well. So the cottage itself will be, it's not going to look like, you know, this looks like the Old West. That's all going to be covered up with white stucco. And my plan is a thatched roof. I'm looking at a company right now that sells fireproof thatching, because obviously we need that here. But the chickens are already inside. They have been inside for a few weeks now. Hello, girls. Hi. And guess what? They've already started laying. Let's go see if they've got anything for us this morning. So I wanted to have multiple egg colors, as you know. So we, got several chickens to make that happen. Different colored eggs. And I also wanted them to stay clean. So I built this tilted egg box that when they lay their eggs inside, they roll down into this trough. And it is working. Take a look. So far, these are the only 2 chickens that are laying. The rest of them should be starting at any time. I absolutely love the view from up here. So as I said, this area was full of succulents and cactus. This tree, I've trimmed it way back. I'm going to actually pull some of these branches down to shape it a little bit better the way I want it. And then there will be a lot more trees put in this area. and it's just going to be an English cottage garden. Very flowery, very flowy. You'll have vegetables and herbs up here. This is under construction right now. This is the chicken run. This is going to be their outdoor area. So I've got an automatic door here that opens in the morning, closes at night once they're all inside, just to keep them safe. This will be protected, but not like high security like the coop is. And we do have night predators, so we want to make sure that they're safe at night, mostly. But anyway, this outdoor run will give them a lot of good space to get outside, to peck around, look for bugs. And that's the first stage of this plan. The second stage is to enclose this area over here, and this will have a lot of grass and plants. And every couple of weeks, I can let them in there so they can kind of, you know, free range a little bit, pasture themselves a little bit. And then I'll put them back in this area for another couple weeks while this rehabilitates, gets watered and all of that good stuff. So every couple of weeks they'll get let in, they'll get fresh greens, even though they get tons of greens in their diet right now. So this English cottage will look over their own little cottage garden, and then beyond that, the English garden will be over there, the French garden over there. So let's head on this way. So our property does not end with this fence. I don't know why that was put there, but our property goes further on. In fact, it goes way over down at the bottom, all the way up past these trees. And so this area up here is going to be the Japanese garden. That's going to be last. That's going to be saved for last. I really want to have it as authentic as possible, possibly bring in a consultant who builds Japanese gardens and knows all of the, you know, ins and outs and all of the proper ways of doing things. So that's a while down the road. So let's head on down to our last garden, which is the Mediterranean, and that includes the vegetable garden. This is probably the area that's changed the most. So let me put up a before shot, and it was just a hill that was sloping in two directions. So with Bill's help, I turned that hill into 4 terraces. And there's 3 beds right now on each terrace, the lower 3 terraces. And then up at the top, there's the long bed that has the tomatoes and cucumbers. So right now it's just 3 beds across. What we will be doing is, so we'll be enlarging this all the way to the edge of the house. There'll be another, the top bed will extend all the way down to the end with more trellises. And then there will be another bed and path on each of these terraces. Now to the right of that, to match up with the path that's coming in front of the house, there's going to be a 6-foot path with stairs working its way all the way down to the bottom terrace. Now past this bottom terrace is that fence I told you about. I don't know why it's here. So up at the top, it's going to be the Japanese garden. But down here at the bottom, this is going to be probably orchard, berries, all of that. And it goes all the way over there past those dead bushes. And I've got my apple trees here that are going to be espaliered against the house, much like at my old house. Now, as part of the Mediterranean garden, on this side of the vegetable garden, this is going to be a miniature grape vineyard. Right now it's just dirt, and it's got 2 of our chickens. One is the rooster. Take a look at my little rooster here. It's getting pretty. This is probably hard to see into the light, but so the vegetable garden is up here, and then all of this hillside coming down will be our miniature vineyard. Do have a pomegranate tree here that we planted last year on my birthday. So my birthday's coming up this week, and I'm gonna go shopping for some more trees. I'll probably take you with me. And of course, Mediterranean. We've got a fig tree here and some tumbleweeds I have to get rid of. And then up on the patio, you can see we've got the dividing line between the tropical garden and the Mediterranean garden, and you can really see from above that that division and how it kind of equals out. But in this area, with this gorgeous backdrop, is going to be more of an entertaining area. I would love to have a sound wall, because there's a road down there. I'd love to have a sound wall built back here, and in that sound wall have a fireplace, outdoor fireplace, a little sitting area, and then a long table. Something like this picture. This is something I found online that I kind of loved and want to emulate. And then where I'm sitting right now, I would love to have a nice pizza oven. Traditional fire, you know, maybe wood burning. I don't know, we'll see. And then over here, we've got, outside the master bedroom, we've got our herb garden, all of our Mediterranean herbs, rosemary, thyme, oregano, lavender, sage. And I'm going to put a mulch in here. I've got the drip in, so it's been working really well. Got some new lavender ready to bloom here. But instead of this, we're going to get some kind of a tan colored gravel that's just going to be very natural looking and just kind of cover the soil up. And then in this area, we're going to have decomposed granite. We're also going to have decomposed granite on the paths in the vegetable garden as well, but we want to get all that done at once. And then we'll walk through this non-existent gate, and we will be back in the tropical garden. So we've come full circle, a full circle tour, overhead and down below, and I hope this gives you a good idea of what we've accomplished here in a year and what we have yet to accomplish, which is a lot. So you guys got a lot of viewing to do over the next several years, and I've got a lot of work, but I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for cooler weather. Right now it's in the low 80s. Like right now at this moment, it's actually in the 70s. So that is amazing. After being, you know, several weeks of 90s and 100, this feels really good. It's starting to feel like fall. There's a definite change in the air. It might be up to 90 in a couple weeks. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to enjoy it, get outside, and get as much work as I can done in that amount of time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time.